Hi, my name is Bonda, and I'm back with FPL Context. Before we get started, kindly give a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more FPL Context from Gogostyle. Okay, let's get to it. Today we take a look at my FPL Draft for Game Week 1. I must say, this doesn't mean I will use this squad come the opening day for Game Week 1, as it's still very early to conclude your FPL squad. There may be some few changes along the way while we waiting for the 11th of August, 2023. Without wasting any more seconds, up front as most of FPL manager, I have Erling Haaland. With his increase from last season to £14.0 million, I would say it's pretty obvious of how good he is. He really is a goal machine. If you really want to be in a better position to start this season on a good run, Erling Haaland should be the first on your starting 11. If we look at his few opening games, we can see that on paper it's only Newcastle that can really give Man City a challenge and maybe West Ham away. The other 5 games looks pretty good on paper for Man City. Now going back to the first line of defense, I have £4.5 million Jordan Pickford for Everton. Last season he finished with 8 clean sheet, 10 bonus points and 128 saves, which gave him a total of 124 points, and you don't have to worry that much in terms of game time. Looking at his first few opening games, it's clear that out of 4 games, only Aston Villa that can be a challenge for Everton on paper. Okay, moving on to the second line of defense, I have £8.0 million Trent Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool, £5.0 million Pervis Estupinan for Brighton, and £4.5 million Rico Henry for Brentford. With Trent Alexander-Arnold's change of position at Liverpool, and also on set pieces, I think for me it's a must-have defender, although he's a little high on price. Pervis Estupinan's first 3 opening games looks pretty good on paper, and with him overlapping it wasn't difficult for me to select him. Rico Henry for Brentford is more like Pervis Estupinan in terms of going forward. If I'm lucky, I might get some assists or even goals in his first opening games. Looking at his first 7 games you can see that it's only Spurs and Newcastle that may be difficult fixtures, the rest favor Brentford on paper. I know you thinking, why not Ben me? Okay, for me that £0.5 million makes a huge difference in my squad. Now, before moving to my midfielders, on the bench I have £4.0 million Fraser Forster for Spurs, £5.5 million Julio Enciso for Brighton, £4.5 million Matty Cash for Aston Villa, and £4.0 million Amari Bell for Luton. With Hugo Lloris leaving the club, I believe Fraser Forster is next in line. If Spurs don't sign another goalkeeper, he can offer a good rotation to Jordan Pickford if needed. I believe Julio Enciso is very good, and with favorable opening fixtures, he will give my team some good points, although I still have to monitor his minutes under Roberto De Zerbi. Since Ashley Young joined Everton, I believe Matty Cash will take that right-back position. I will then use him for my rotation when he got good games. I've added Amari Bell to create budget for other players. Also last season in the Championship he is the one defender who played regularly for Luton. Okay, now let's move on to the midfielders. First I have £8.5 million Bukayo Saka for Arsenal, with the rotation that is going to happen this coming season at Arsenal, with the like of Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard. I like to think that Saka is more like Sulla at Liverpool. He is one player who will get more minutes than his competitors. Also the fact that he is on penalties and set pieces. I find it very hard not to include him in my team. Looking at his opening games with Arsenal, you can clearly see that on paper they will be collecting more points. In their first 7 games, it's only when they play against Man Utd and Spurs that where they may find it challenging. Moving on, the rest of my midfielder is £6.5 million Brian Bumo for Brentford, £6.5 million Kaoru Mitoma for Brighton, and £9.0 million Marcus Rashford for Man United. With Ivan Toney suspended, I believe Brian Bumo will be the main man for Brentford. He might be also on penalties. Looking at his 4 opening games, you can pretty much say that on paper they've got 3 games that I think favor them besides the first game against Spurs. With that, I think I will get some points from him in those 4 games. I like to believe that Roberto De Zerbi likes Kaoru Mitoma. We saw last season how good Mitoma can be, the dribbling, assist, and goals. The first 3 games favor Brighton on paper, playing 2 home games against Luton and West Ham respectively. Lastly, Marcus Rashford, we saw how good he has been under coach Erik ten Hag, especially after the World Cup break. He came back with a very good form, ending his season with 17 goals, 7 assists, and 21 bonus points, which led him to 205 overall points, putting third on best FPL midfielders for last season. Now that we're done with midfielders, the last two forwards that I will open my season with are Christopher Nkunku for Chelsea at £7.5 million and £8.0 million Gabriel Jesus for Arsenal. With Nkunku, I believe he will get more minutes under coach Mauricio Pochettino. Looking at Chelsea's 8 opening fixtures, on paper the only challenging fixtures are Liverpool, West Ham away, and Aston Villa respectively. The other 5 games are on Chelsea's favor. I'm hoping Christopher Nkunku will score more points. With Gabriel Jesus, I think he is nailed on with that number 9 spot, and it's the same as Bukayo Saka in terms of fixture difficulty rating. To conclude this video, I think I will give the captain armband to guess. Yep, Erling Haaland against Burnley FC, and my vice will be Marcus Rashford against Wolves. I must say, this might change as it's still a long way to the opening game week. We've come to an end of my FPL draft. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button for more FPL context from Gogostyle. Okay, that's it from me. Peace.